Hi, welcome to Becoming Unstoppable Fitness and Weight Loss. We're your hosts, Lynn and Stephanie. We are just two ordinary girls who were born without skinny jeans. We refused to give up on our goal of becoming fit and fierce, and now we're coaches. We get to share our passion for health and strength with others.
We started this podcast so we could share the knowledge and insights that have helped many of our clients with an even larger audience. And our dream is to help you become unstoppable.
In today's episode number 5, we are talking about etiquette. And we're going to talk about what etiquette looks like for us and how it relates to weight loss. So we're going to start out today just discussing a little bit about etiquette. And I think it's really an interesting topic because I know I threw etiquette out the window even before I had kids, but after I had kids and life got really hurried, I think I started paying less and less attention to etiquette. And for me, that just means I started treating myself with less respect, and then those around me, I want to describe it as I got a little bit sloppy in my eating, in the way I carried myself, in the way I communicated. I stopped paying attention. What about for you?
Etiquette, for me, in the past, it's not something I really thought that much about. Then I started following some social media influencers that do things on etiquette. And then I realized what a big difference it makes. Like for me, picking up the right fork is not going to make a big difference in my life, but the way I dress and communicate and present myself and treat others, that represents who I am on the inside. Am I innately considering other people and putting them at ease and respecting myself and presenting myself the way I see myself and want to come off to others. And for the most part, I was raised to have manners and everything, but I feel like there is more that I was able to delve into when I started to really think about it and focus on it. I was raised to respect other people and be kind and everything, but if you start to actually think about it, there's ways you can kind of elevate yourself and how you present yourself and how you feel about yourself and respect yourself by the way you treat other people.
So I love that. And treat yourself, right?
Yes.
It's like a way of elevating your behavior, your consciousness, your presence. I love that word, elevate. That's really good. And so how does it relate to weight loss? Well, for me, just slowing down and really thinking about treating myself and other people with respect, that has automatically turned into more consciousness about my food and how I'm feeling inside and how other people are feeling. It's this overall presence and awareness. So it's helped me to be more conscious of what I'm eating and how I'm eating it, and again, feeling my satiety and my hunger, all of it. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, when it comes to relating to weight loss, it does have to do with that sense of self-respect. Do you respect yourself enough to follow through with the goals you set and the plans you set for yourself? Are you willing to take that time to plan out your meals and to make those choices that doesn't seem that difficult to eat the right foods, but it is for the majority of people I know, at least. And are you willing to treat your body the way that you want to and want to see from other people you love? Like for me, it doesn't up front, you don't think about etiquette being about caring about your loved ones or family or taking care of yourself or other people, but it is kind of an act of consideration for your loved ones. Are you taking care of yourself and getting yourself to a point where you're healthy enough that you can have that longevity and you'll be able to spend that time with your family? And obviously illnesses can happen to anyone, but Are you putting yourself in the best position you can to be there for your kids or your siblings, or even if it's not family, anyone you have around you in your life, and are you able to do the activities you want to do with them? I think about that a lot. I don't have a family yet, but I want to prepare myself to have a lifestyle where I prepare myself to have a long, healthy life where I can be there for my kids and be active with them, and travel with my husband in the future, and hike when I'm in my 80s or 90s.
Yeah, and I love how you're always thinking about your future self.
Mm-hmm.
That shows a lot of consideration for yourself and your future loved ones.
Absolutely.
I think what's interesting too is that it takes a certain amount of mental alertness, or it keeps you mentally alert when you're thinking about, how you're relating to yourself and the world around you. And so as much as you want to be active with your family, I'm sure you also want to be like mentally alert and present with your family. So the mental game is all part of this as well. Staying alert, staying aware, and considerate, as you mentioned.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all good stuff. So how is this different? And I'll let you answer this one first. How is this different from people pleasing or like putting on a fake or inauthentic mask? Because I know, sorry to interrupt, before you start talking. So there's a big push for like authenticity, which I think is helpful. I think our intentions, I think it's very important to be authentic about our intentions, but I think people misconstrue it, or at least I did, meaning like that means you can be, they interchange authenticity for impulsivity, or like, the first thing that comes to your mind, you say it. Well, that's just who I am. And actually, no, that's just the impulsive part of you. So it's kind of selling ourselves short a little bit, but I said I was going to let you talk first. Okay, so go ahead. Yeah, you tell me, how is it different from people pleasing?
I think I definitely, most of my life I've been a people pleaser. I've made a lot of growth in that area, because I learned you can respect yourself and respect other people and treat them great and still say no. That's something I've worked on in the last year or two a lot, because I tend to be one of those people, like I will light myself on fire to keep someone warm. And that's not healthy. And that people, and then they will see that. It's great to want to help other people, but when it comes to doing it to a point where you lose respect for yourself and you're not honoring yourself, that's a whole different thing than being considerate and kind towards others. And for me, it's that you can, by respecting other people, you also have to respect yourself, because if you're not treating yourself right, people are going to respect you saying no. And that's what I've seen as a result of me actively trying to make this change, and not being a people pleaser, is that when I do say no, it's never, just saying no to someone isn't a bad thing, or drawing boundaries. They will see that you respect yourself and you have to stick to your own priorities. Sometimes it even just came down to saying no to things because I have to sleep and take care of my body, and I realized that, in those situations where I was worried, like, I still have that innate like sense of like, oh my gosh, they're gonna hate me for not just doing exactly what they want. That did not happen. And I think if I remember that part of etiquette is respecting yourself and presenting yourself in a way you want other people to treat themselves as well, then that's going to be something that's going to influence people in a positive way.
Yeah.
And you can build on representing yourself and not making it inauthentic. You can be yourself, but have that growth and choose, like, is this who I am? Is this really how I want to represent myself? Because when you take the moment to think about that, when it comes to what you say, what you do, what you wear, it is important to realize that those things are all going to influence the people around you, and you have greater influence than you know. And that's something I've learned in the past handful of years. I think I'm insignificant, but then I realized, like, over the years, I've affected people in ways I didn't even know, and they approached me about that.
Yeah.
And then it makes you realize, like, oh, I make an impact on people.
Absolutely.
And so every action matters.
I love that. You definitely have an influence on your environment, positive or negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very useful to remember to present yourself in, your highest regard. That's so important. I know we were by the studio the other day. I don't remember what we were doing, but Mackenzie said, "Oh my God, let's stop by and see Stephanie." Just because Stephanie was one of my daughter's coaches, and she didn't feel that way about all of the coaches, but it was Stephanie in particular who she wanted to stop and say hello to, and that was part of because of how you treat other people, but you also make everybody feel good because you hold yourself to a high standard. So
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
And something, when I was like looking into etiquette, it's a big part of it is just putting other people at ease, like presenting yourself in a way and creating an environment where you put people at ease, and you want the people around yourself to feel that. And so that's so amazing to hear that, like, I had that influence to where I assume she like felt that like welcomed and
absolutely.
Yeah, that's my whole goal, especially when it comes to work. And I that's something I think about, like, are they feeling welcomed? Are they feeling at ease? If I notice anyone seems uncomfortable, I actively make an effort to try to relieve it.
It takes intentionality, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that you making people feel at ease doesn't mean that you're like sloppy or slouching or like relaxed or using sloppy language. It's let's talk about that, because some people would interpret it like that. Oh, like, just relax, make everybody feel comfortable by being, your lower self.
Yeah, no, that's not at all. Well, for me, putting people at ease does not mean being casual. It's making them feel welcomed and invited, seen and heard. That's something huge for me. I want everyone to feel seen and heard. So I want to know who everyone is in my classes that I coach. If I don't know their name, I'm going to make sure I know their name that class.
So it's more like being warm and friendly.
Yeah.
Not casual and sloppy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I interpret it too. But
Absolutely.
I just wanted to clarify for, a lot of people don't really know. They don't even have any kind of concept of what etiquette means or how it could be useful. So.
Yeah, absolutely. A few years ago, I didn't even know what etiquette was a thing outside of just like eating dinner properly or drinking your tea right.
Italian at the country club,
Yeah, exactly. No, it's so much more than that.
Yes, good stuff. And then how has it helped you reach your goals other than weight loss? Slower eating, of course, eating more consciously, that all directly relates to weight loss, as we talked about before. But how has it helped you reach like your personal goals, like your business goals, as we briefly mentioned, and then maybe even your other relationship goals?
So for me, anyone that has probably met me in the last 5, maybe almost 10 years now, thinks I'm like super outgoing. Well, okay, I'm outgoing, but sees me as like super outgoing and talkative. But I used to be so shy. I used to like not talk when I was in school. In high school, some people were like, I literally never, like, do you even talk? And then in college, people would say it was like painfully shy to talk to me at first. Well, I was so painfully shy that it was painful for them to like try to even have a conversation with me. So I used to be very much the opposite. But then through life experience and moving all across the country and working with different people, being thrown into situations where I knew no one, I grew in that. And I'll try to fast forward through this. I grew through that, and now I don't come off that way at all. But still, there is that part of me inside that, like, if I'm in a situation where I don't know anyone and it's a big social gathering, I have this like fear. I just want to go in the corner and like I don't know. For some reason, that's still like inside of me a little bit in an uncomfortable situation. Once I realized like I have to respect myself, and one of my goals is to put everyone else at ease. I was so scared to go introduce myself to people and start a conversation. But once I like stepped beyond that, this was something I did a handful of times this year. Mm-hmm. I like, once I get through that past like fear, and I just go up and introduce myself to people, start talking to people in these different like local community events that I started going to network, that it was really easy. And, you know, being able to have that consideration for other people, I made them feel better, because they probably, half the people might have been just like me and not known who to talk to or what to say. But once you just take that step and think, like, I want to know this person, and I want to make them feel good, and they'll make me feel good too, like just having the conversation. Mm-hmm. That was a big thing for me, is learning to give myself enough respect to step out of my comfort zone and be willing to network and connect with people that I don't know in situations where I'm not comfortable initially. Learning to step beyond that helped me to grow my business, because right. I'm so comfortable in my studio, right. But going outside of my studio where I don't know anyone, yeah, like that's a whole different thing. So, but I realized like that's how I'm presenting myself and my business too. And so when I keep in mind how I want people to feel, I take that with me everywhere I go now.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing all of that. It's really good. So I think that's the difference between people pleasing. People pleasing is strictly so people think well of you, right? Mm-hmm. But you're like, no, I want to make people feel comfortable, you know, not only because it makes the journey better, right? Getting to know people and like having this reciprocal relationship, but then also there was something beyond it that really pushed you, which is like, oh, my business goals.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it helps you do all of your jobs better. It helps you perform as a studio liaison. It helped you to do that. Mm-hmm. It will help you be a better friend. I'm sure it has, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's helped me, being conscious of this has helped me be a better wife, you know, communicate in a more respectful way, and just not ignore my husband when he walks through the door. Not that I ever was doing that on purpose. I just wasn't intentionally thinking like, oh, I want to make him feel welcome when he comes in. I was just like busy doing stuff. But when you change your intentionality, you automatically perform better.
Right, absolutely. And I, you know, started to intentionally try to connect people with each other too, because for myself, feeling a sense of community has made such a huge impact on my life. I've gone out of my comfort zone to introduce people to each other, and then I've seen friendships grow among my friendships, and that has made me so excited. Like, you know, a friend I met in LA and a friend I met here are now like really close friends. And then I have two other friends that have become really close friends, and because I got to connect them. Yeah. But that's stuff that's intentional. And in the past, I wasn't comfortable doing that. But once you start being intentional about it, then you can really help not just yourself, but other people.
Yeah, that's all really good. So in a nutshell, etiquette will help you, you know, remembering to be respectful of yourself, aware of yourself, considerate of yourself and others. It will help you reach your weight loss goals and other goals, as we mentioned today. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast. We would also be glad to answer any questions or help you strategize about your particular situation. Our contact info will be in the show notes, and be sure to tune in next time for more Becoming Unstoppable Fitness and Weight Loss.